Coming up on Citrus TV News, New York State's Attorney General is suing Harvey Weinstein in an effort to end the culture of silence surrounding sexual misconduct.
A historic landmark celebrates 90 years of entertainment in Syracuse, how the community is honoring the city's grandest theater.
The sun has finally come out after what has felt like weeks of cloudy skies. But will the sun stick around this week? I'll tell you in my full weather forecast. Citrus TV News starts right now.
This is Citrus TV News live at 6, your campus news leader.
The acclaimed Chilean theater company Teatro La Maria is performing Los Millonarios, the Millionaires, right now in Schine Underground. Good evening, I'm Lianza Reyes.
And I'm Mike Riccardi. Thank you for joining us. This is the U.S. premiere of Los Millonarios, a play that explores racism in modern Chile.
Citrus TV's Zach Levine joins us live in Schine with a look at the acclaimed play. Zach, how's it going?
Well, the play, which is being put on by a Chilean group called Teatro La Maria, is just about to get underway. People behind us are getting ready to file in. Now, the play, which is about the marginalization of an indigenous group called the Mapuche, is getting underway. Additionally, it explores the marginalization of the middle class in general. This is the first time the play is ever being performed in Syracuse and in America in general. Now, it's part of this year's Syracuse Symposium Spanish 400, which explores women, arts, and social change in Latin America. Earlier, I got a chance to catch up with the professor who brought the play to SU and the theater group director.
My field is Latin American theater, so I saw a lot of theater performances in Santiago, and I, at that point, saw this play and another play by this group, Teatro La Maria, and I thought it would be interesting to bring to campus because of its social justice and human rights messages. Theater can be a really important way to foster critical thinking skills, to help us to understand the world better, to bridge cultural differences, to improve the world we live in.
The story is about a group of lawyers, a very wealthy group of lawyers that defends an indigenous person that is involved in an act that the government calls like it's terrorism. This firm of lawyers hates the indigenous people, but they take the case anyway because they want to, for vanity, they want to win.
Now, people are starting to file in here as we spoke. While in central New York, the group will also perform at Hobart and William and Smith colleges and also head up to SUNY Oswego to perform their other hit show, El Hotel. Now, the group is here in Syracuse till Friday, and they'll spend their time outside of performing, teaching Chilean theater classes, guys.
Thank you so much, Zach. Tune in to Citrus TV Noticias this Sunday for a full sit-down interview with Alexandra and the playwright of the theater troupe.
The Lunar New Year is right around the corner, and International Architecture students at SU are planning a school-wide celebration. On Thursday, students, faculty, and staff can head over to Slocum Hall for a special Asian cultural event to celebrate the Year of the Dog. There'll be dumplings and tea, as well as calligraphy and paper cutting. The festivities start at 5 p.m. And Syracuse University is hosting the 7th annual Orangeability on Saturday from 2 to 4 in the Women's Building. Orangeability allows disabled and non-disabled people to participate and learn about a variety of sports. This year's events will include wheelchair basketball, power soccer, and wheelchair rugby.
4 children have died as this year's flu season gets worse. There's been a record number of flu cases and hospitalizations in the past few weeks. The numbers keep increasing. To combat this, Governor Andrew Cuomo has announced that all children under the age of 18 can receive flu shots, even if they cannot pay. The Landmark Theater in downtown Syracuse is celebrating its 90th anniversary today. Opened in 1928 and originally known as Lowe's State Theater, it served as a popular venue for silent films. 90 years later, the theater is still attracting audiences to hit productions like Wicked and The Lion King. To honor the original opening, the Landmark is screening the 1927 silent film West Point tonight at 7:30. Tickets are free for the Landmark Theater members and $10 for non-members.
The university's Palettes Gallery in New York City is presenting a new exhibit called New Voices now through April 12th. The gallery will feature photographs from former lightwork artists in residence, artists who were invited to Syracuse to devote a month to a photography project. And Governor Andrew Cuomo's job approval rating appears to have taken a hit this month. A Siena Research Institute's poll released this week found that 53% of New Yorkers have a favorable view of the governor. This comes off the heels of his January approval rating, which was at 62%. The poll also found that Cuomo has favored more New York City as opposed to upstate New York. And the New York Attorney General is looking to challenge the culture of silence. Yesterday, Attorney General Eric Schneiderman filed a lawsuit against Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein. Schneiderman cited that the Weinstein Company failed to protect its employees from pervasive sexual harassment, intimidation, and discrimination. This comes after dozens of women, including famed actresses, came forward against Weinstein last October.
Maureen Dooley of Rome, New York, has been named the Command Chief Master Sergeant for the New York Air National Guard. As the top enlisted airman for the National Guard, Chief Master Sergeant Dooley will serve as the advisor to the State Guard Commander and will be responsible for issues relating to 5,600 enlisted airmen. She is the second woman to receive this position. The 142nd Westminster Dog Show is underway with more than 2,800 dogs of all breeds competing to be named Best in Show. The Madison Square Garden is hosting the event, which has been held in New York City annually since 1877. On Saturday night, Famous, a border collie from New Jersey, won the agility portion of the position, which saw over 3,000 canines navigating an obstacle course as fast as possible. Best in Show will be named tomorrow night.
Well, Lianza, we've had a break from the snow the last couple of days, but we still have those pretty low temperatures that are making it a bit chilly outside.
And how long will the low temperatures last? Citrus TV's weather reporter Jenna Babyak is here with a weather update.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, the warm temperatures are going to be here for quite a little bit. If you look right now, 31 degrees out right now. That might sound cold, but to Syracuse students, that's pretty warm after a weekend of low teens temperatures. We saw some snow flurries today, as you can see, looking at the future radar moving in. The snow isn't really hitting Syracuse right now. Pretty mild temperatures. Thanks, guys. I'll have your full weather forecast coming up.
And coming up, a free-for-all debate is underway in the Senate. How they hope to form a bipartisan solution on immigration by the end of the week.
And the executive of a global aid charity is resigning over a sex scandal. Now the charity could lose funding. We'll have details on the crisis.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. Gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet. Oh,
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown, and feel technique. After the first drown, a good stir. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the CitrusTV Newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at CitrusTV News, your campus news leader.
The U.S. Senate is tackling immigration this week in a rare open floor debate. Senators are looking to come to a bipartisan solution that would provide protection to 700,000 DACA recipients.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says that this week's debate will be a test for all senators.
Democrats and Republicans are laboring to find a bill to protect the Dreamers and provide border security and garner 60 votes. It won't be easy, but we're all going to try because of the gravity of the issues at stake, and because we know that this week will be a test of whether the Senate can steer the ship of state through the stormiest of waters.
The Senate will vote on various amendments and proposals. Whatever gets 60 votes will go in the final bill, but there is a chance that no proposals will get enough votes.
In a tweet, President Trump weighed in on the debate, saying that any deal that does not include strong border security and funding for the wall is a total waste of time. And President Trump unveiled his $1.5 trillion infrastructure plan today. The plan only calls for $200 billion in federal spending. The rest will come from state and local governments. Top state and local leaders are meeting to discuss the 10-year plan and how to fund it.
$50 billion will be allocated to rural infrastructure projects. Another $20 billion will go towards transformative projects targeting water, waste, and power. 3 are dead and 4 are wounded after a tour helicopter crash in Grand Canyon on Saturday evening. All passengers on the flight were from the United Kingdom.
Air tours in the region are suspended as officials investigate the crash. Officials will not speculate on the cause, but say a storm with high winds was in the area. Parts of Puerto Rico are still without power after a fire at a power substation on Sunday. Officials say the fire was caused by a mechanical failure that affected San Juan and the surrounding area.
It is unclear how many people were without power from this outage, but it's certainly a setback for the island. More than 450,000 Puerto Ricans remain without electricity from September's Hurricane Maria. Oxfam could lose £29 million in European funding due to sexual misconduct allegations. This comes after Oxfam Deputy Chief Executive Penny Lawrence resigned earlier today after reports were released detailing a cover-up of sex crimes its aid workers committed in Haiti and Chad.
Oxfam aid workers have been accused of turning a villa rented by the organization into a brothel with prostitutes wearing only Oxfam t-shirts. 71 people are dead after a Russian airplane crashed yesterday near Moscow and killed all on board. Saratov Airlines Flight 703 disappeared from radar shortly after its takeoff from a Moscow airport. 10 minutes later, the airplane crashed.
There was heavy snowfall in the region, but officials don't know if that contributed to the crash. Both flight recorders were recovered today, and investigators hope that it will provide details. Tensions between the UK and the EU are running high as negotiations regarding Brexit continue. Officials are saying that the post-Brexit transition period will be problematic for trade, export markets, and more.
Britain officially leaves the EU in 13 months, but Prime Minister Theresa May and her senior ministers still remain divided on how the country's relationship with the EU should look.
Prince Harry and the American Meghan Markle finally know the exact time and place of their royal wedding. Kensington Palace announced earlier today that the ceremony will take place at noon on May 19th. That's 7 a.m. Eastern Time if you want to tune in.
After the ceremony, they will take a carriage procession through the town of Windsor, ending the night with a reception back at Windsor Castle.
And don't go away, we will tell you why one company is going to stop promoting its products to fight the opioid crisis.
And a large health insurance agency is under investigation in California. Why one doctor is at the center of the investigation. Stay tuned.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where did cats go on vacation? New York.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back to Citrus TV News. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, it's going to be pretty chilly, around 14 degrees, partly sunny, but definitely really chilly in the morning. You're going to want to bundle up going to class. But luckily, the temperatures are going to climb higher during the day. It's going to reach almost 30 degrees, about 29, partly sunny, and we're going to see increasing clouds coming in at night. Planning your day tomorrow, we'll see pretty low wind speeds, lower than today. We saw some pretty strong gusts today, but we're going to see some higher cloud cover. So you'll see the sun, but you'll see a lot of clouds tomorrow as well. And then finally, Valentine's Day, planning your day on Wednesday. Check it out. Love is in the air. It's getting so warm, 40 degrees. And then by noon, 6 p.m., it's staying in those low 40s. But more importantly for SU students, it is game day on Wednesday. 46 degrees, perfect conditions for your game day. Planning. Pretty cloudy, but definitely in the warmer ranges. Looking at current temperatures right now throughout the area, pretty consistent, getting colder in the west towards Rochester, 28 degrees down there. But in the south, it's warmer in Elmira and Binghamton, mid 30s. And the Winter Olympics are underway and conditions in Pyeongchang are proving difficult. Temperatures have been in the single digits, sometimes dropping below zero, and winds have been high with gusts up to 45 miles per hour. Women alpine skiing is delayed until Thursday due to the strong winds. Similar conditions occurred at the 2010 Vancouver Games, but it looks like now the athletes are competing against Mother Nature.
Health insurance giant Aetna is under investigation in California after a doctor working for the firm admitted to not reviewing patients' records when approving medical care. Dr. J. Ken Enuma revealed this information during a lawsuit filed by a former Aetna customer who was denied coverage for a critical medical procedure. Enuma states that he was following Aetna's official policy. And if you want to avoid a delayed flight, you might want to fly with United. The Federal Bureau of Transportation says United has the best on-time performance out of all U.S. airlines, with all flights arriving on schedule nearly 85% of the time. In second place was Delta, and at the bottom of 12 airlines included was JetBlue, with an on-time rate of 74%.
And the company that makes OxyContin has stopped promoting the highly addictive opioid to physicians. Purdue Pharma also says it's cutting its sales force in half. The move comes after a string of accusations against Purdue of downplaying its risks while overstating its benefits as a painkiller. The CDC says that the opioids were involved in more than 42,000 deaths in the United States in 2016, but Purdue denies any wrongdoing.
Coming up in sports, Syracuse basketball gets an important win at home. Matthew Moyer is back in the doghouse, and lacrosse has a strong opening weekend. All that and more. Citrus TV News live at 6. We'll be right back.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby. As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Every time I hear the alarm bell go off in school, I think it's an air raid. A lot of houses in our neighborhood have been destroyed. I like to close my ears and sing songs whenever the bombs come close. I'm worried our new neighbors won't like us. But I know it's all gonna be worth it. I just want my family to be safe. But these are not my words. These are not my words. These are not my words.
Come on, it's not that hard.
My big man fingers are having a problem with these little tiny buttons.
Whoa, watch it there. Your blood pressure's gonna go through the roof.
Tell me about it. I'm trying to learn how to get it down. Instead, it keeps going up.
High blood pressure can increase the risk for heart attack or stroke. Learn how to keep yours at a healthy range.
Ever hear a voice command? Just say text barbershop to 97779.
That's not what I said.
Just give me that. Now my blood pressure's up.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
If you want to dance in March, you got to do the dirty work in February, and that includes defending your home court. Hello, everyone. I'm Matt Liberman, and this past Sunday, Syracuse men's basketball hosted Wake Forest in what many considered to be a must-win game for the Orange, and Boeheim's bunch did just that. Matthew Moyer inactive for this one. He took himself out before the game, but no Moyer, no problem for SU. Tyus Battle gets going early. The shake and bake from downtown. He splashes home the three. Syracuse up early on, and they'd keep it going. Let's go to the rim this time. Pascal Chukwu, yeah, he's 7'2". He can do that. SU controlling the ball early, but at the end of the first half, Bryant Crawford from Jimmer range cuts it to 10. Syracuse up 31-21 going into the break, and Wake Forest would come out hot. 6 threes in a row for the Demon Deacons on 6 straight possessions. Boeheim said he's never seen that before, and they would keep it going. This cuts it to 4. Would this be the makings of a comeback? No. Pascal Chukwu, not in my house, Wake Forest, as Syracuse goes on to win 78-70 in the Carrier Dome. Only 6 players on Syracuse played decent minutes in the SU's win on Sunday, and that's because forward Matthew Moyer pulled himself from the game because of an ankle injury, but that had Boeheim asking questions.
He practiced the last 2 days and came in today and said he was too sore, so I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. He practiced, says his ankle hurts. He looked fine in practice the last 2 days. He helped us against Louisville. He can't jump really off one leg, but I had bad ankles, and you go jump off 2. While the men played at home, the SU women traveled south to take on the women from Wake Forest. Down 21 in the second quarter, Coach Q's squad was in danger of dropping 3 straight games for the first time all season, but the Orange battled back. SU limited the Demon Deacons to just 16 points in the second half, and Tiana Mangakahia, she's been great all season. She led the way for the massive comeback, 26 points and 8 assists in the come-from-behind win for the point guard. And while basketball has been scaring many fans all season, SU lacrosse came out with a bang on Saturday against Binghamton. The Orange walloped the Bearcats 21-4 in SU's biggest win since 2009. Senior attack Brendan Bomberry beat the Bearcats by himself. Bomberry netted 7 points on 5 goals and 2 assists to lead the Orange, but he wasn't the only one with a big day. Stephen Rafis added 5 points, and Danny Varela won 15 of 17 faceoffs. While Syracuse lost almost 60% of its scoring from last season, it may have found it on Saturday. 12 different players scored for the Orange, and they may have to do the same next Saturday when Syracuse faces number 3 Albany in one of the nation's best in Connor Fields. And the men weren't the only ones to dominate their season opener. The SU women's team crushed UConn 23-11 on Saturday. This game started out pretty close as the Huskies jumped out to a 2-0 lead, but SU battled back and headed into halftime up 9-8, and once halftime hit, it was all SU. Syracuse outscored the Huskies 14-3 in the second half, led by Nicole Levy's 5 points. Interesting factoid, though, UConn's leading scorer, Grace Nolan, is from Syracuse, and she led the way for UConn with 6 points on Friday. She led all scorers, but Syracuse coming out with a big win. They will have to really gather up and be able to prep for their opponent next week. They're going on the road for the first time to Portland, where they're going to face Oregon.
Now, Matt, men's lacrosse team with a big win over Binghamton, but I was looking at the schedule the other day. We have 8 opponents ranked in the top 20 right now. Obviously, it's going to be a tough schedule throughout the season. What did Saturday's win tell you about this team and how well they can do?
Well, one of the questions coming into the season was about the Syracuse offense. Like I said, almost 60% of the point total from last season graduating. Saturday's win showed me that they have a lot of different players on this team that can score. A lot of unknown names, but a lot of those names can step up a lot. Like Tucker Doherty, he's a freshman midfielder, played outstandingly. And Jamie Trimboli, we got a glimpse of what he can bring last season. Came out on Saturday very, very strong.
And Matt, what did Sunday's win mean for SU's tournament chances?
Well, in looking at the tournament chances, I think that this was a must-win game. Wake Forest is not a very good basketball team, and if you want to dance in March, like I said, you got to do the work in February, and that means beating up on the bad teams. If they had lost this game, this is something that could have really hurt their chances.
Now, obviously, a couple weeks ago, or about a week ago now, the Knicks lost Kristaps Porzingis. They're playing tonight. How do you like their chances?
I don't think that they're too good. Kristaps is a tremendous, tremendous player. Anytime that you lose your leading scorer, somebody that can really create offense for himself, it doesn't bode well.
All right, Matt Liberman, thanks so much.
Thanks so much.
And in the NBA, how about the Nets?
The Nets, I don't like their chances too much as well. The Clippers have won 3 of 4 with some of the new names that they have, Tobias Harris and Avery Bradley. The Nets, they've lost 9 of their last 10, so they're not playing too well down in Brooklyn.
All right, now, Matt Liberman, thanks
so much.
All right, Citrus TV will be right back. Apologize for those technical difficulties. And there's a new fad at a local yoga studio in Buffalo. It's called Gong Bath Yoga, and it involves lying in a dark room for an hour, meditating while a gong plays in the background.
The twice-monthly session sells out repeatedly at the Yoga Parkside studio. The owner of the studio credits the session's popularity to its peaceful environment and far-out experience. Now, Mike, would you ever engage in something like yoga like this? It's very different.
Well, you know what? I've never done yoga ever, but maybe gongs might get me into it. Matt, have you ever done yoga?
I have done yoga once when I had gone for a really long run, didn't feel so good, went the next day. I felt incredible after doing it. I would recommend it to anyone.
Okay, well, I mean, it seems like a large part of this gong yoga is meditating. Now, Lianza, you've known me for a while. You know, I like to talk a lot. I really can't get all these thoughts out of my head. I don't know if I could sit through a meditation session and be able to clear my mind. There'd be too much going on.
Yeah, I did the more active yoga. I don't think I have the patience for that either.
Well, you heard about phenomenons like goat yoga or whatever they might be. So
there's a yoga for everything.
There's a yoga for everything, and I think you'll find the perfect fit for you, Mike. You never really know.
Maybe I'll try. We'll have to leave it there, though. And that's all the time we have tonight for Citrus TV News. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Citrus TV News. I'm Mike Riccardi.
And I'm Lianza Reyes.